is La Bella Vita.
Hi and welcome to Gravel Union Talks, a podcast series full of inspiring stories, news and events from the world of gravel. Each month we will be talking with guests who are passionate about riding off the beaten track, adventure riding, bikepacking and gravel racing. I'm your host Carlo, and behind the microphone in Newcastle, UK, it's Olly Townsend. Olly, how you doing?
Very good, thank you. How's things with you?
Well, I'm well. I'm getting older, so my back hurts a little bit now and again, but I'm still on the bike, having fun.
Since we last chatted, I had a significant birthday, so I'm now quite old as well.
Yeah, you're in the same age category as I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Couple more grey hairs.
We're still alive and kicking. For today's episode, we're going to be chatting with Andrea Lodder, a vlogger, content producer, and influencer with a passion for gravel riding and bikepacking. For her day job, Andrea works in the marketing team at Merida Bikes, where she's the e-commerce and marketing assistant. So it sounds like her whole life is bike related. We're going to find out more about her, but also talk about the Terra di Pisa bike trail. Hope I pronounced that well, Olly. You went there also. A newly launched gravel bikepacking route with which Andrea got to sample last month, together with you, Olly.
She did. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but...
How many days in the office did you have? Because it's been a while since we did this podcast, because you were always round and about.
It's been a while.
You're always abroad somewhere.
Trying to escape whenever I can.
I think that the escape for the weather to Tuscany wasn't...
Just, at the minute, it's absolutely pouring with rain, and it's just rained and rained and rained and rained.
It seems to
I'm
never
start
stop.
Sailing rather than gravel riding.
I got some questions on some general questions on Gravel Union.
Great.
Because we do the Gravel Union platform, or rather, you as the editor-in-chief, you're running everything. I'm just trying to be important here and there.
Yeah.
It's an online platform. How many members do we have currently?
I think we have about 90,000. About 90,000.
90,000. So who could have guessed, when we started 5 years ago? Is it 5 years
and we had
ago?
about 10. It's grown quite a lot, hasn't it?
Our birthday is coming up, the Gravel Union birthday.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something special. And also the newsletter is quite big. We sent out...
more than 50,000, isn't it now?
Yeah, so that's also awesome. So check out our platform, gravelunion.cc, and find loads and loads of articles on gravel biking, adventure riding, bikepacking, and also racing. The biggest news item of last month, Olly, on the platform.
Well, this month is going to have two different topics to talk about. It's kind of about events, but it's all inspired by the Spring Classics, because it's obviously Spring Classics season at the minute. And although cobbled riding isn't for everybody and it's not directly related to gravel, I think there's a lot of people who do gravel riding also like doing cobbled stuff as well. So
we definitely watch Paris-Roubaix and
yeah, exactly. And it's so fun to watch, and it's even better to take part in. But so yeah, it's kind of events based. So the first one I did this month was written by a Spanish contributor called Jorge Padrones, who writes quite a lot for us. And he was out last year in Colombia doing the Transcordilleras bikepacking rally, and as part of taking part, he got to spend a day riding with Annemiek van Vleuten, who is the former women's pro road world champion, and she was taking part in this event as well. And by kind of a mixture of luck and timing and good fortune, they got to ride together. And so he wrote this fantastic story about what it's like to ride with a total legend of the cycling world. And apparently she's lovely and incredibly personable and friendly, and really just, he said he had an absolutely amazing day. And cycling is probably the only sport where you could have that kind of experience. So it's all about what it's like to ride with a total legend.
It's nice to see that she's no pro anymore, but she really likes the biking. So she's doing all kinds of fun stuff. And I noticed that a former guest of ours, Olly, is doing her cycling outfits.
Absolutely. Iris Slappendale, who was a guest a couple of episodes back, She's obviously good friends with Annemiek, and so Annemiek was using her jerseys during the event, and they looked amazing in the photographs. They really
very colorful and nice.
Yeah, super distinctive.
It was also inspirational because one of my friends, John, who's always listening, so John, this is for you. I sort of said yes to do a Colombia trip next year.
Oh,
so
wow.
he wants to do like a big ride out in Colombia. So I said yes. So I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. Altitude,
Okay.
I know, but so this is it's also something for our group to read.
Everybody that I know who's been there have loved it, and I know quite a few people who've gone there to ride. And
it's getting more and more popular, I think.
Yeah.
The most popular stories on Gravel Union of the last month.
Okay, we're going to do two. First of all, quite an old one, but a relevant one in terms of events, which is the launch of Rebound 2024. The Rebound is based on an American gravel event called Unbound, which is probably the world's biggest, and it takes part always the first Saturday in June. So Rebound is the worldwide version of it, and you can do it from home rather than having to travel to Kansas. It's sponsored by Shimano and by Lawrence Tendam's company, the ex-pro racer, because he's a really big fan of Unbound. And the aim is to try and get people to go and to plan, first of all, and then go and ride from something local to them or something that they design based on the ethos of Rebound. So you can choose the length of route you do, which can either be 15 miles, 25 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, or 200 miles, or their kilometre equivalent. And the reason for those distances is because that's what happens in Unbound.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen, as I said, the first Saturday in June, which is actually June the 1st. And what the organisers are hoping, because it's a really huge event, is that the combined total of everybody who rides will be 10 million miles.
10
which
million.
Is just mind-blowing figure. And that's based on how successful it was last year. There's you enter via their website, which is rebound.cc, and there's a chance to win some pretty amazing prizes, with the top prize being entry into Unbound next year, actually out in the States. So it can just be a jersey or a T-shirt or whatever, but it could be right up to an entry
really
into
nice.
the event itself.
Well, I did
so
a
I'm
Rebound.
Going to be doing one.
I did the very first one.
Great.
So and then the 100 miles, because then they only did 100 or 200 miles, but now they have all the distances of Unbound. And I noticed that there's also a qualifier for Unbound.
Which
in
is
Belgium.
in your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too far. The Friends of Flanders Classics are organizing.
Yeah.
I don't know how the event's called, to be honest, by heart. But
It's in our calendar because I added it already.
I'll look it up.
It does look good. So yeah, have a look on the Gravel Union calendar and you'll find it.
You can either win the Rebound.cc challenge or qualify at the event in Belgium. Is there an armchair article?
There is
really
Armchair Adventure this month, which are long form stories, and this is again really inspired around the Spring Classics. I chatted with a guy called Jessica von Werthen, who's the managing editor at Komoot, who we work closely with, and he's a really keen ultra distance rider. And he was telling me about a completely bonkers event that he did a couple of years ago called the Classics Story, which basically takes the best bits of all of the Spring Classics, of which he said there's more than 10, and you ride them consecutively. So in total, you do 1,200 kilometres and 11,000 metres of climbing. And as an example, he ended up doing the Paris-Roubaix cobbles in the dark because you set off, I think you do the Flanders ones first of all, you set off in Ghent, and you just do one after the other. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is, you have to do it. So he said, no matter how hard you think the cobble riding is, in the dark it's doubly hard or triply hard. But he loved it, and it's a really great kind of real inspirational story.
I saw the route is like incredible because you do all the classics. So you start in Ghent, and then you do all the Flanders classics, and then you go over to Wallonie, so you do all the Wallonie classics, and you end doing the Amstel Gold Race.
Yeah.
And finishing in Valkenburg.
Yeah, having done 11,000 meters of climbing, and then you need to lie down, I should think.
Well, I know a good hotel in Valkenburg. We're going to mention Valkenburg. That will be the red thread to the whole episode today, because we will meet up with Andrea in Valkenburg, because we already had a short talk before the recording. So let's head over to our main guest. Andrea.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys. Such
thanks
an
for
honor.
joining us.
Yeah, such an honor to be on your show as a newbie, I think, in the whole podcast scene. Maybe not so much in the gravel scene, but really cool to show my face or my voice that way.
Great.
We're really glad to have you. Maybe you could start off with introducing yourself. Who is Andrea Lodder?
Yeah, sometimes people say, "Oh, you are a gravel influencer or a bike fluencer," as I may say. But I just prefer to say that I'm just a simple girl who likes riding her bike and show people where I'm riding, and especially the more fun parts. Not so much the look, I'm riding here and this is the route, but just like the fun part behind the scenes. I show people that it's also not that serious. That's why I think racing is not really my thing, but just more the adventuring part and the hang loose style of gravel riding in general. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, we're also pretty good in the hang loose area, aren't we, Olly?
Yeah.
Because you met Olly in Italy. Well, we get back to that a little later, because you do all kinds of stuff, but you work in the cycling industry.
Yeah, correct. I started cycling when I was, let's say, 18. Yeah, and I've been working in the cycling industry since I was 17 as an internship from my school. And yeah, I started working there. I was definitely not a cyclist back then. I did horseback riding and stuff. I weighed like 85 kilos, so I was not that sporty. Absolutely not. I loved eating, and that's about it. And then I just got a little taste of cycling by my internship, and started with a simple road bike, and yeah, from then on it was bikes for the rest of the past 10 years, I think. Yeah. And I kept on eating, but I also did a lot of riding besides that, so that gave me some good cycling shape, I think. And I love cycling. I do it every day, every night. Like you said, my life is bikes. Yeah, and that's pretty easy. Also, of course, because I am a cyclist, it's more easy at my day job at Merida. I think that when you practice cycling yourself, you can tell people more about it, more passionate, more from the heart.
Yeah. I think it's critical, isn't it? If you don't love cycling, why would you do this? Why would you work in this industry for a job? I think it's all about the passion.
Same, yeah. A lot of people don't ride their bikes in the industry, but they do other stuff really good in their profession. But I think, practice what you preach.
Great. What do you do at Merida? What's your role with them?
I started working here a little over 1.5 years ago. As a marketing assistant, marketing girl, let's say it that way, and e-commerce. I work at the Benelux team, so it's a rather small team from Merida. We have like different areas in the world, in Europe, and I work at the Dutch spoken markets. So they say. We have a team of 8 people here, and we do everything in the Netherlands, in Belgium, Luxembourg. We are a distributor of the bikes, so we send them out, but we also do the marketing, the online, the socials, the website and stuff. So it's a really versatile job. Because we are such a small team, I do more than just marketing. We also have the biggest showroom in Europe, or the biggest Merida showroom in Europe. So we also have people coming in here, trying bikes, asking stuff about bikes. We just had a few Belgian customers who came all the way to our showroom in Apeldoorn. So it's a job that has a lot of different aspects, and I really like that.
Yeah, the variation and the mix.
Exactly. Yeah, and also on the plus side, I've always worked in bike shops for the past 9 to 10 years, and I've always worked in the weekends, and I had to say too much no to bike trips, events, and all the other stuff, and now I can say yes because I'm off in the weekends.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, normally, because you have like because you have to be versatile at Merida because it's small, like you said. But we will see you at the test event on I think the Friday the 26th of April in Valkenburg, in the United in Gravel weekend. Because people can see you live there. Because you're working at the Merida booth to hand out test bikes at that event.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's also part of the job in marketing and also in the team. We do events, test events, but also big events like Velo for Lease or Eurobike, perhaps stuff like that. And it's cool to also see our people really riding our bikes and asking questions in real life, and really like tell them everything what they can do with it, the differences between the bikes. Yeah, that's I like that. To be out on the road.
We will be meeting up there because Olly will also be present. We're going to record a podcast over there at Gravel Union Talks podcast, Olly. So that's nice. And there will be like, I don't know, maybe even 10 brands handing out test bikes on the Friday.
Right.
And Saturday you're going to ride LTD Gravel Fest, and Sunday there's the gravel race. Like you said, you're not much of a racer, so let's enjoy the Saturday event then.
I did last year, but...
It's a UCI World Series and it's really, really fast. I thought because I was there and I thought, okay, it's going to be pretty fast. I did a recon ride of the route myself, and I thought, well, I did pretty well. I went really fast at the downhill section, and I did, and then my average was like 10k under what the proper riders do, and that's not even like the best riders. So I'm with you. I stick with the doing the ride outs, having fun, and having a little beer afterwards. We wonder because there's a big scene out there that is like influencer, and some people don't want to be called influencer. But could you explain a bit? How do you see yourself? How does it differ from being a brand ambassador or a content producer or a vlogger? For us, it's a little indistinct.
Mushy.
Yeah, mushy.
Indistinct. That's much better.
It's a big pool of people. Some people like to call them really influencers. Yeah, like I mentioned, I don't want to call myself an influencer. People want to be influenced by me. Feel free to, but don't get influenced by me, because I'm just one simple girl who rides their bike and just tries to keep it simple. I do work with a few brands, so I will call them brand ambassadors, I'm a brand ambassador for them, such as Merida, of course, but that makes sense. Also, Bieler Cycling, it's a clothing brand, and Dynamic Bike Care. Those are the brands I work with. And that's if people like that and like to see what I do, it's cool. If they don't, it's cool as well. I just do what I do and like to show people what that is exactly.
And how many followers do you have? Because that's an important number always.
To be honest, I don't know exactly. Like 5,500. Okay. It's not that much.
It's plenty anyway.
It's plenty people who like to see me.
Yeah, it's more than we personally have. Olly, I know that we have quite some following with the Gravel Union channels, but our personal channels are a bit more modest than 5.5.
I don't do anything special to gain followers.
I think if it's organic growth, that feels better, doesn't it, than doing something really contrived just to try and get some bigger numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that leads very neatly into Terra de Pisa Bike Trail, which is where we met back in March, probably a month ago, wasn't it? I should think.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, it goes fast, doesn't it? So first of all, do you want to kind of tell the audience, because the Terra de Pisa Bike Trail is very new, do you want to kind of give a little overview of what it is, and then also why you were invited and what you did as part of the trip?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. First of all, beautiful area. It was my first time in Tuscany, actually. And of course, everybody knows Tuscany from Strade Bianche and Siena and the dirt roads and cipressis. But it's like it's even more beautiful in real life. And I've got invited by Sander Koolsloot from Cycling Destination. I work with him for trips like these, and he says, "Hey, can you go to Italy then and then?" And I'm like, maybe I can make that work with my job. And they are super flexible over here. If I ask them, "Hey, can I go next week to I don't know, Italy or Spain?" and they are like, "Is it with the bike?" I say, "Yes, it's with the bike," and they are okay.
Cool.
You can go. So it's I love that over here. So we went there, and I think we had a blast.
It was super fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, the route in general was. I thought it would be more easy, to be honest. Knowing the typical dirt roads in Tuscany, but I think it was far more.
Yeah, it's definitely not Strade Bianche, which everybody will picture when they think of Tuscany, but it was much more varied.
Yeah, Tuscany is pretty, because in the Siena area it's like really like the Strade Bianche area. But if you go to Pisa or a little bit more to the west, it's pretty different, because you had like all kinds of surfaces, right? Not only the beautiful white roads, but some gnarly rocky climbs and steep descents.
We did plenty of climbing, didn't we, as well? Some of the days I think we did nearly 2,000 meters on one day.
Yeah, and also the really rocky climb where you cycled uphill and I walked uphill. That one. That was crazy steep and technical. Oh.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
But it was worth it though, wasn't it? So what was your role? Why do you think the organisers invited you along? What did they want you to do as part of the trip?
I think just show maybe to the that may sound weird, but to the female riders, because a lot of girls or females or women in general think, oh no, that's way too hard for me. I can't do that. But everybody can ride up any hill. I mean, it's not that hard, but sometimes women need that extra push, and they need to see that someone else also can do it. And you don't have to go fast. You don't have to go hard or crazy downhill or uphill. It's for everyone. And I think I also show that on my channel maybe a bit. Just have fun, and yeah, if it takes you 1 hour, it takes you 1 hour. If it takes you 2, it takes 2. Who cares? As long as you reach the top, it's okay.
It's all about having fun, isn't it? And I think that's probably gravel riding. I hope that's gravel riding summed up, is that it shouldn't be about the competitive element. It should be about the fun and the participation, as much the experience more than the trying to be first.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the main reasons why girls took up on gravel cycling for the past few years a bit more, because there's no pressure. Everybody can ride their own pace. If you want to race, you want to race. If you don't, you don't. And with road cycling, there's always that little thing that you have to go fast. Like you have a road bike, you have to race. But it's not. And I think gravel racing or gravel riding is a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Absolutely
on
agree.
The trip... Oh, sorry. Go on, Carlo.
No, I absolutely agree. And I think what I really like is that it... in the whole gravel scene, it's been from the word go. It's like, okay, we are inclusive, but it's really nice to see that people who are new to the gravel scene immediately have the spirit. Okay, I can do whatever I like you say. If you want to ride hard, just be yourself. And if you're going to take an hour longer than your fellow riders, no worries. It's we all have a great story afterwards and share that. So that's really really the nice thing about the whole gravel community.
Absolutely.
Our group was pretty mixed, wasn't it, as well? So we had a mix of ages, of abilities, of experience levels, of kind of backgrounds in riding was very varied. And I think that was clever on the behalf.
Did I see Erwin popping up again?
Yeah, Erwin gets everywhere.
It's like
doesn't he?
Erwin. We always see Erwin around.
Yeah, I love how he always says, I'm the king of party pace and I don't race and I don't go fast. But he was like flying uphill.
He was properly fast.
Always. He is super fast. Yeah.
He can ride a bike, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he can.
So as part of our trip, we only, unfortunately, got to ride 200 kilometers, and the whole route is 530.
Yeah.
Do
You could
you
have done
did
it.
that? We could have, yeah, we could have done the whole thing, but we would have needed a lot more time. Did it give you a kind of a taste of the whole event, and would it make you want to go back and do the whole route?
Yeah, for sure. I think they picked three of the most different areas. A bit more up north, up south, and a bit more west. And of course, the route itself, it's different every day. But they picked three really different areas. That's a bit more steep, a bit more normal with a bit more tarmac through the gravel paths. And I think this really gave us a good impression of how the trail could be. Not too hard. Also, some really chill roads, and also the more technical ones. So I would definitely want to ride the whole trail, and then let's see in how many time and how long it takes.
But
Yeah.
just, is it, because I don't understand really, how is it like an event, or is it a trail that you can do year round? Because I saw the website that it's going to be launched formally in October, the 9th of October, if I'm correct. What's the concept behind it?
Yeah, I could do both. They also sell it as a bikepacking trip, so you can take your own stuff on your bike, and then go from hotel to hotel, or B&B and then B&B, or take your own tent. I don't know if sleeping in your own tent is that good in October. I mean, it's a bit wet, I think. But I think it's for everyone. It's not really a race. It's just a trail that's it's there, of course, all year round. But they want to launch it in October, and then maybe get a group of people who want to go there, so that you're not alone on the trails.
Okay.
Because some trails are a bit more quiet, not around towns. So if anything happens, you have someone to rely on.
It looks really
Some
nice.
of it was pretty wild, wasn't it, as well? We were out in the middle of nowhere. And there were a few bits that were busier, but we saw very, very few riders.
Yeah, I think maybe day 1 or day 2, we didn't see anyone. And I'm like, we are in Italy, but where is everyone?
And that's the whole point in the trail, isn't it? Is to try and take visitors who go and ride it away from the touristy spots and get them to see a different part of Tuscany that they wouldn't experience in another way.
Is it
Also, when we crossed the little town up the mountain, where the old lady came peeking out of the window, and she said, "Oh, how lovely to see these beautiful young men." They also called you a young man, Olly.
She was obviously, her eyesight perhaps wasn't quite as good as it used to be.
Yeah, but she was really fond to see someone coming into her old town. I believe only 12 families lived there. It was a really, really small town, and it looked over the Tuscany landscape. Super beautiful, and she was just happy to see someone.
Yeah, It was brilliant, wasn't it?
That was lovely, yeah.
when you're 90 as a lady? Everybody at our age
Everybody looks young.
Is considered to be a young man.
That's true. It's a good point.
Because there's the other well-known trail out there is the Tuscany Trail. Did one of you ever do the Tuscany Trail?
I've done bits of it, but not the whole thing, and I haven't done it as part of the event. But they're quite clever how they've designed the two trails. So the Tuscany Trail is much further north. That's the real difference.
That starts in Massa. No,
I think in Carrara, so it's right
Yeah,
on the west coast.
Yeah.
Where the marble quarries are.
Because we have we do the as a Gravel Union, we're also partnering with the Grand Euro event, and it's in the because you were in the volcanic area also, and a little bit more southwest from where you were. We have the event in Italy, so Grand Euro Italy. So and I was there last year. I did quite some riding in Tuscany, and I really, really like it. But I saw on the map that you really go to the remote areas of Tuscany, because you are literally far away from all the massive tourism. Maybe Volterra is one of the towns in the summer that's quite.
Yeah, there are a few highlights where it will be busier, but a lot of it was about being off the beaten track. What was your highlight, Andrea? What did you enjoy the most about the trip?
Downhills.
The downhill, yeah, you were flying.
Yeah, What was the highlight? Yeah, I think Volterra was really beautiful as a little town. I love little towns in Italy, in Spain. I just came back from a few days in Girona. I love it. And I think that was one of the highlights. And yeah, although the rocky climb took us like forever, and it was super steep and technical, but I prefer that over an easy surface uphill.
Okay.
But give me some details on what is steep, what is long in the climb.
I would guess it was probably 10 kilometers of off-road. It felt a hell of a lot longer. It was the steepest off-road gravel climb I've ever done. It just, because it started off fairly gentle and you kind of got lulled into a false sense of security and thought, oh, this is okay. And then it got a bit steeper and a bit steeper and a bit steeper. And then it got rockier. And every time you thought, oh, we must be nearly there, you'd come around a corner and go, oh. And the very last bit was probably 15%. It wasn't quite 20%. It was insanely steep. But you'd been climbing for an hour by then, so your legs were already cooked. And then it was steep and rocky. And there was a group of mountain bikers. The ones at the back were going quite slow. And there was one guy who was in my way, because obviously on an acoustic bike, you've got to maintain a minimum speed. Yeah. And this guy on the e-bike was actually in my way. So I was trying to say to him in Italian, look, can you go a bit quicker? Because otherwise I can't ride this. Which surprised him as much as it surprised me. It was hard. Super. It was an amazing view and a great sense of achievement, but it was properly tough.
And then you got the reward of the descent.
And then you got some incredible downhill afterwards to make up for it. Yeah. But it definitely wasn't Tuscany for beginners. I think if you go and you do the Terra de Pisa trail, it would appeal more to experienced riders, not to beginners.
Yeah, I think maybe like they wanted to compete with L'Eroica. I think that's more the easy gravel-ish.
Yeah.
You can do on a road bike with like the 23mm tires, but definitely not here. No, you have to be a bit experienced and know what you're signing up to.
I can't remember who it was on our trip, but they described it as Gravel Plus, which seemed like a really accurate, kind of a good way of doing it. So it's right on the border of gravel riding and mountain biking.
It's probably more or less the same, because if you do Torino-Nice, it's also you need to be experienced, because it's really difficult, technical sometimes. It's awesome, but it's not for the faint-hearted and the beginners level. You need to have some experience for this one. So
I was chatting with the two guys who created the route, and they said for some bits they're going to put in some suggested bypasses so that you don't need to do the really difficult climbs if you're less experienced or you haven't got quite the right bike or whatever. But they showcased the hard stuff to us, and it was super fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably it was probably also like the group were all experienced riders.
Yeah, there was a real mix.
Yeah,
but
most of them.
The experienced ones really loved it.
Yeah, and I think the experienced ones prefer like the rugged terrain over easy gravel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should we talk about your bike next, Andrea? Because you had a new Meridas. Is it Silex? Is that how you pronounce it?
Silex. Yeah.
Silex. Okay. So do you want to tell us a bit about your bike and why you thought that was the right bike to bring with you for that event?
Well, it's a new bike, or not a new bike, but the model has been renewed last year, and I think we have I don't think. We have the best and the fastest gravel bike on Earth.
How can you prove that? Is there a way of demonstrating it's the fastest?
Well, I think you have to ask Matej Mohoric, who won
the world gravel champion.
Yeah, he won the Worlds last year on the bike, which wasn't released yet. It was released a week after that. So I think that was our best launch we could have wished for. He actually rode that bike only 2 times before the Worlds as a tryout. They asked, hey, Matej, would you like to do a gravel race on this new bike? He never done any gravel riding before. And he was like, yeah, why not? Because he's such a bike lover. And he was like, that sounds cool. It's off season, so let's give it a go.
And then he won and became world champion.
Yeah, just like that. I think we all know how he rides in San Remo a few years ago. It's crazy. And also on the descents, he is like a maniac. So I think that was a good hello from the new Silex. And it's also, besides a really fast gravel bike, a really versatile bike, because it's a bikepacking bike and not so much a racing bike, but you can do both with it. It fits really wide tires. You have like a million mounting points for bags and racks and everything. And I think that makes a real gravel bikepacking bike the best. Like a good mix between comfort and speed, because of course, as much as I like adventuring, I also like speed. Like, who doesn't?
For the Terra de Pisa trail, you wanted the bigger the volume tires you can fit, the better, I think, because for the rocky sections anyway, it made a big difference, didn't it, if you could run decent sized tires?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need like a minimum of 42 millimeters and tubeless, like hands down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We only had one puncture, so that was good. But it was a guy with smaller tires. He did ride tubeless, but I think the wider tires, the better. Low pressure, more grip. So that's like a must. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, and when you go bikepacking style, I think you also need a bike who has like good mounting points, because you have to go downhill on the rocks and stuff. So you don't want to have your bags popping off mid descent.
No, that's true. Would you change anything about your bike setup if you were going to go back and do it another time, or were you happy with how you had it?
I had the bike for 1 week, I think, before the trail. It was a brand new bike.
Wow.
So I don't think I would change anything on the bike apart from the shifting. Maybe I had the new Shimano 1x12.
Okay.
It shifts like it's amazing, although it's mechanical, and I'm used to Di2, so electronic shifting. But I can't say anything about a possible new group.
No, because that's definitely secret.
Nobody knows. There might be something going on at Shimano's, but nobody knows for sure.
No, but if it comes, maybe one day, who knows? I would prefer to go back to electronical shifting again, because I'm used to it. I'm spoiled if it comes to bikes. So that's like literally, I think, the only thing I would change. Yeah,
Great.
Couldn't wish for anything better. Yeah.
If you were going to talk about the route with your friends or colleagues or people that you ride with, and you were going to try and sell it to them, how would you describe it? Why would you, or what would you say to persuade them that they want to go and try out the Terra de Pisa bike trail?
Ooh, that's a good one. How am I?
Seeing as you work in marketing, you should be good at this.
I should be. I think it's just looking at Tuscany in a different way. Everybody knows the easy gravel, but everybody wants to know what's behind the easy gravel and what's behind or next to the easy path. Like, everybody knows the main roads, but what happens if you go to the right or to the left and just go into that path? What you think isn't rideable or looks a bit like a dead end? Just go into it, and you will experience so much more than just the known roads. Although they are gravel, but there's more than just the gravel. And just explore and go into the little towns, talk with people. Hear what they have to say, and that's something I think Terra de Pisa bike trail really is made for, to go into the less traveled roads, lets you see and speak to the locals over there, and it's just more than just a trail.
Great.
You've been talking about the actual riding, but how was the Tuscany life? I mean, the Tuscan sun, the food, the beer, the wine. Did you enjoy that also?
It's la bella vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think living in Italy, it's so relaxed, and everybody is so super friendly. I don't think anyone came at us at a not friendly way.
It was the opposite, wasn't it? I think everybody was unbelievably friendly, and a lot of them seemed really surprised to see us. I think they're just not used to tourists, or they're certainly not used to cycling tourists.
No, I always say when I come back from either or Italy or Spain, I'm like transcultural. I mean, I'm born as a Mediterranean person, I think. I mean, I love living there. It's so laid back, and people just have the easy mornings with their coffee, a little bread or something. Yeah, you even though the trail is like super hard, you will come back more relaxed, I think.
Yeah, that's a good summary.
Yeah, you don't get tired of this. You can't.
What do you think? What did you think of the food and the wine that we had while we were there?
Food. Oh, please stop it.
If you said you were a fan, we certainly ate extremely well, didn't we?
Yeah, Italian food. It's just you go sit there on the terrace. The last day where we had like the overview in the restaurant.
Yeah.
It was outside, and we had like this overview over the cipresses and the whole landscape over there. It was beautiful. And they come with the meats and the cheese and the wines and the olive oil and salt. Just the simple things, but it all tastes so pure. And you can also taste like it's Italian, it's fresh. Yeah, nothing compares with Italian food or Spanish food. But in typical, yeah, lost for words for food.
Well,
I don't think we certainly didn't come home any lighter than we went out. Let's put it that way.
No, we definitely didn't.
you don't go there if you need to lose some weight. Well, you
No.
know,
I mean, you probably come back the same because you're burning off a heck of a lot with the climbing, but you certainly, I wouldn't go there if you're on a diet.
No, don't.
you know, I read the article that's online on the website, and you know, I'm pretty jealous of what you did, and so I try to
You should be.
find a spot on my calendar to go out there. And maybe I can combine it with Grinduro because it's in the same.
They're
same
so
area.
close together; it would fit extremely well.
So it's
You could.
I don't know whether it's going to be the 530 this year, but it's on my list. I already sent a link to a couple of friends, but first Colombia, of course, and then
Yeah.
and then we'll see.
Yeah, sounds super cool as well.
We will put on our website, Andrea, we'll put links to your Instagram profile so that the listeners to the podcast can see the videos that you shot, because you made some really great content while we were on the trip. And then I've put together a written story about it so that they'll get a really good impression for the trail from those two pieces.
Yeah.
I think your video captured the fun and the energy and the enthusiasm that everybody had.
Yeah, I prefer. I think the shots or the videos don't even show that much of really like cycling, but the fun we had off bike during our trip.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody knows we are riding our bikes over there. I mean, that's like that makes sense. But what happens off the bike and during the breaks and everything, I prefer that more. Yeah.
You did a good job. It certainly brought back happy memories when I saw the videos that you'd made.
Good to hear.
I will also put in a link to the website of the Terra de Pisa bike trail, so you can check it out. And I have to check, but I think it's the 9th of October.
It is 9th of October, which is start on a Wednesday, which is slightly strange day of the week to start, but I presume it can finish at the weekend, and then there'll be a big party back in Pisa.
So
that's my guess.
So the trail is set out to ride in 4 days, or in?
I would have thought, because it's 500. Yeah, I'd have thought 4 days.
Okay.
It'd be hard. And
It's going to be hard,
days, but it
Like
would be
4
fun.
days is pretty quick.
Yeah. So well, check out the website, and if you're interested, the 9th of October it starts. You can also see the route, and I checked it out, and I know some areas and some areas I don't. So I'm really curious to ride it myself. There's always the final question, Olly.
It's not that we're predictable, but we have the same question every episode, don't we?
Every
so the
episode.
final question, Andrea, is if you could only have one bike for ever onwards, what would it be and why? And it doesn't need to be a particular make of bike, although yours might be, but a particular type of bike we were thinking.
I think a TT bike.
Yes.
Hopefully you're joking.
No.
She
No,
is.
definitely a gravel bike. Definitely.
Is the correct answer.
Yes. Next round.
You can win the refrigerator.
No, I think a gravel bike for sure, because you can do everything with one bike. That's also what I see over here at Merida. A lot of people who come in for a bike and they don't know what bike they want. You want a road bike? No, that's too fast. But maybe I want to go into the woods. You want a mountain bike? No, that's too heavy for the road. Then you want a gravel bike? Yeah, maybe I want a gravel bike because it's a bike you can do everything with. You can go mountain biking, you can go gravel riding, you can go riding on the roads. So it's like one bike that can do everything. So hands down, a gravel bike. Yeah.
You're also directly in touch with the consumer, people who buy bikes. What's the percentage now in the gravel bikes? Well, you don't need to give the exact numbers, but what's generally the amount of the percentage that mountain bike, gravel bike, road bike?
For us, of course, gravel bikes are a big part, but we were really big in mountain biking back in the days. Of course, we have the Bahrain Victorious team we sponsor with our road bikes. Of course, road bikes is still our number one. We also do e-bikes. That's a slightly smaller group, but we basically sell everything. But I think nowadays it's like road bike, gravel bike, mountain bike, and then e-bikes are on the same level below. But the gravel bike section is getting bigger and bigger, and I think that's really good to see. Really fun to see people also come in for the bike specifically, and it's lovely to tell them about it and what it's capable of. Yeah.
And you can by experience, but I am under the impression that people who start biking in their 30s and now a lot of women, a lot of men come on board, and they all seem to choose for the gravel bike. Am I correct?
Yeah. It's also like the newbies who don't really know what they want to do. They pick a gravel bike and perhaps they get another wheel set with road tires on it. So you can do both. Like with a road bike, you can only fit road tires, and if you want to switch to gravel, you're stuck on the size that the frame can have. With a gravel bike, you can go bigger and smaller. So it's a bike you can do both with.
Yeah, and it's also a perfect way to tell your partner that you only buy one bike, but you actually have two.
Yep, yeah. That's also like people don't want to have like 2 or 3 bikes in their shed because there's no space for it, or their wife or their husband says, "Nah, one is enough."
Yeah.
You just get a spare wheel set and you're all set.
Buy one, get two. That's the gravel.
Basically,
gravel
yeah, basically.
Well, thank you very much, Andrea.
Thank you guys. It was an honor.
Well, we have the famous outro now, so.
Can't wait.
Thanks for joining us in this episode of Gravel Union Talks.
Thank you.
And thank you all for listening in on this month's edition of Gravel Union Talks. If you have any suggestions for guests or topics you would like us to feature in future shows, then please post a comment on our Facebook page or get in touch to our channels, or send an email to info@gravelunion.cc. It will be directly answered by Olly. And we would,
assuming I'm in the country anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Preferably people outside the Benelux and the UK. So if you have suggestions for people from Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, whatever, then we would be very much open. Please like and star us on your favorite podcast platform and make sure to leave some hopefully positive remarks. Don't forget, if you like what you heard in this episode, there's lots more great stories, features, and news pieces, and all the latest gravel event information over on the gravelunion.cc website. Special thanks to Martijn for designing our very own music and the jingles, and Ruben for editing the show. Thank you Andrea, thank you Olly, thank you all for listening, and hope you can join us again for the next episode of Gravel Union Talks. Cheers!